out on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And don't do that! And don't do that!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready? And don't do that. And don't do that.
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yap. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap. It's embarrassing. Yap. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready? And don't do that. And don't do that. It's a wrap. Game over.
Yes, sir. We back. Yes, it's sure enough game time here with the HBC Stroll, the coach, Johnnie. Some people say football coach. I want to thank you guys for continuing to follow this show, and hopefully at the end game is to be able to make opportunities for Black coaches, also for Black college coaches. You know, it's a game that's majority played by African-American players in the game of football as well as basketball, and just want to make the playing fields even. So the next 45 minutes, I'm going to be talking with two outstanding guys. First with Cedric Thornton, who's now the defensive coordinator at Grambling State University, a guy that I actually went against a couple of times when he was at Alabama State as well. A great defensive coordinator, a long stint. He's also a HBCU graduate from Alabama State. I can't say enough about him. He's paid his dues, so now it's time for him to be able to, feel the benefits from it, but again, he got knocked out from a job that us in coaching felt that he was ready for. Next on the agenda was a guy named George Copeland. He'll come in as well. He's the defensive coordinator at Morehouse State, where he runs a very aggressive defense. He actually, we work together. A great guy, has put the time in. State champion from Valdosta High School. Also went to Tennessee State. He's an HBCU graduate. He can get things done. One of the best defensive coordinators in the conference, in the SIAC, and that's George Copeland. So I want to bring my guest in. There they go. Coach Thornton, how you doing?
Man, no blessing yet praying, JC. How you doing, man?
I'm good. You HBCU guys, y'all always come with something. You come with this bright red top. Man, this is my show, man. We got you. You got your bright red on.
Cole, I know I couldn't beat you, man, when I saw them octagon glasses, man. I ain't never seen a frame like that, Cole. Right now, Cole, you killing it. You killing it with them frame right now, Cole.
Well, I thank you, man. You know when you're HBCU, man, they teach you well. If you ain't got no money, at least you can look like you have money.
At least you can look like it. right.
And next, George, how you been doing down there in hot Atlanta? How's you been doing?
Man, Coach, I've been holding on with both hands, man. Been holding on with both hands, man. It's good to see you guys, man. Good to see you guys, man. I'm blessed.
Well, I want to thank both of you guys, man, because I got a lot of aspiration for you guys. I'm always, George, you know me on a personal level as well, and Coach Thornton, you know me on a professional level, and I just seen you guys work, man, and Coach, man, my heart went out to you, man. I know you have paid the bills. You've been on so many championship teams, and we're gonna talk about that great defense ranked in the nation and coordinating. And George, man, I seen you develop, from a GA coach to a great assistant coach. Then went on to be a defensive coordinator. Now you've been a defense coordinator for over 15 years, and I think y'all feel 100 yards long in Morehouse, huh?
Oh,
53 yards wide. And do you put 11
wide
on the field or do you put 10 on the field? I think you put 11.
Right.
Man, I started this show out, guys, because we need to be recognized, man. And we put hard work in and we take SHIT and make it out of sugar. You know what I'm saying? We take lemon and make lemonade, and that need to be recognized. So, first let's just catch up where you at and kind of bring me, Coach Thornton, let's start off where you at. Let's bring us up to speed.
Hey, you saying a mouthful, JC, man. I'm right now at Grambling State University. I've been here since January. Got here, man. I was at Alcorn State University with Fred McNair the last 6 years, and for that, I was at Texas Southern 3, and then of course at my alma mater, Alabama State. So I've been here, man. I'm a Grambling, man. I've been here, like say, since January, and trying to keep my head above the water, man. Try to keep doing what we enjoy doing, is coaching a little ball. Try to help young people be better, in their life. Period.
Yeah. George, what about you? Can you bring us up?
Well, yeah, Coach.
I call you boss. Y'all two guys dinosaurs, boy. It seems like y'all gonna be the next Eddie Robinson in his staff. I didn't know that was even going on in football no more.
Hey, tell me about it, man. There's prayers, man, and I like to thank Coach Freeman, man. He does a masterful job of, man, keeping me out the way. He lets me fool with the X's and O's, man. And you know how I am, man. We work together, man. Number one, I'd like to, man, give you a shout out for being a mentor to me and helping me out along the way. When I was at Tennessee State, it started off GA in there, went on to coach a little ball at high school in Memphis, then went to Alabama State, and I stayed there for like 7 years. We won a couple of titles there, man, and just been blessed in these 15 years, man. Been happy to be around some good student athletes that kept our tenure rolling, and man, just ready to try to get it going, man. See where the next step leads.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump right in it because Coach Thornton, I know, man, you leaving Alcorn and really, a guy like you. I mean, what else could you have done at Alcorn besides being the head coach? And Fred is doing a great job. Matter of fact, I actually played against Fred and I coached against him as well. So I know the outstanding job he's doing. It's tough. Just share with us some of the compliments that you've made, in your career.
Man, Johnny, man, I that's tough, man. That's tough.
I know you don't coach a couple off-swag linebackers. I know your defense has been ranked in the NCAA.
It's crazy, man. I was talking. When I was at Alcorn, I was talking to our sports information director. He was trying to get me to, give him all this stuff. Man, I never really paid attention to a lot of stuff, man. I just been fortunate. Like George said, man, I've been fortunate enough to work with some good dudes. When I was at Alabama State, my head coach, he didn't bother me defensively, until the end. When I was at Texas Southern, you know, my head coach, he didn't bother, man. Coach Fred McNair, Coach Golden, man, that dude there, man, he's probably the most humble man I ever met in my life. And you know, good dude, man. And I like being around good people, man. And, you know, it was tough for me to leave him. You know, I've been fortunate enough to have a group of young men that have always bought into what I've done.
Right.
And it's not been hard for me to get a group of young men to buy into what I do. And, you know, coaches, you know, with me, you know, God, this how we rock. You know, everybody bring their own little flavor to it, and I'm cool with it. You know, I'm not a stubborn dude. I ain't invented nothing. And, you know, with me, it's just about, you know, getting them guys to buy into what we're doing. Everybody doing the same thing, trying to get it going together. I mean, we've been fortunate enough to be, you know, ranked nationally in a lot of categories defensively. You know, takeaways, tackle for loss, sacks, rush defense, total defense. You know, we've been fortunate. And I've been, you know, fortunate enough to have a couple ball players. Johnnie, honestly, man, I've never been in a situation where I've had like a defense full of all conference guys. I mean, you know, I may have two guys that get the recognition of all conference here and there, but I've always had 18 to 20 guys that played together. You know, they played together. And, you know, we may go out and, you know, bust an assignment, but I got 11 guys playing hard as they can, and it covers a lot of stuff up. So, you know, we've had a lot of good team accomplishments in my career. I just haven't had, you know, you look at a lot of these teams, man, we play in this conference, they're going to have eight guys from one side of the ball on all conference, you know, but they may be seventh in total offensive defense, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, that kind of stuff. But
Hey, believe me, I got you. You know, being in the conference myself, and you know, sometimes you find some unfairness on that deal. You know, of course, you know, I've read up on you, and of course, you know, I had to study you as well. You know, of going against you. You know, and you know, one of the things, you know, I could give you a secret that you've done in most, and I've faced some great defense coordinators. And, you know, as you know, I've put up good points. But one thing about you, your team knew how to line up. You didn't try to go tit for tat with me. You know, you didn't, well, let me run some people on the field. Your guys made adjustments as the game went on. And I noticed that about you. And that made me work a little hard and put a little more stuff in there that, and hopefully I didn't put too much. You know, so George, you know, I followed you. You know, you've been a student coach under my leadership, and you know, of course, you know, we had some personal things, man. But guys, you know, I want y'all to know, man, this is our show. You know, what I mean about this is our Black College show. There's some things that you might want to say. I'm gonna say it. You know, they don't. I don't get my checks from them no more. You know, and that's why I'm here, because my whole span, and we'll get into the numbers of why we're here and what we're trying to do, you know. And I don't want to sound like a Malcolm X, because I'm not about Malcolm X, and I'm, you know, don't want to sound like Martin Luther King, you know. But there's some unfairness, you know, here, and I want my fan base or supporters to hear that we got guys like you. Both of you guys that can lead men, you know, young folks, and y'all can lead men, and you know, and that's what we do. That's what we do at Black College. So George, what about you? Just kind of bring us up. I know you was all state on the all national team, right? But that's a high school.
Yeah, title time, man.
So
title
championship is inbred in you.
Oh man. Hey, Titletown, USA, man. That was a tough place back in the day, man.
Let me jump in right there, George. Here you are, Valdosta State High School, right? National champion. Was you a state? Did you make all state?
I was second team all state, but we won the
now. So that means
national championship.
I mean, Thor, what that put him? Maybe a 4A athlete. What made you go to a Black college, George?
Man, I just like the environment, man. I think it's family family oriented, man. I think you know, they treat you like people. You're not just a number, not just a stat. You're not just a seat in the classroom, man. I think you know, I just embraced the love that you know that I received when I first went to Tennessee State in Nashville.
Well, I brought that up because folks think that some of this stuff is just now happening. You know what I'm talking about, Thor? Right. How many 4 or 5 A's you don't brought to Alcorn? You know, or 3 A's. You know, you win some and you lose some. You got to go get them. And that's why Alcorn State kept winning, because they had coaches like Cedric Thornton going out to get the best players he can get.
And that's absolutely right, man. Like you said, you know, George left Georgia and went to Tennessee State, and you know, man, you said some mouthful that made it proud. I wrote it down. Man, I don't knock nobody where they go to school at, but I am pro-Black. And I clap for Lord, I am. I'm not prejudiced at all.
No.
I love everybody that's doing right, that's right, but I'm pro-Black, and I'm gonna pull for us now. And what's been going on in this conference, I'm gonna speak about this conference, because this conference I'm in, the SWAC conference. It's a conference that I undergrad from this conference. I got a graduate degree from this conference. I've coached in 4 different states in this conference, and this state covers 6. This conference covers 6 states. I've coached in 4 of them. And what's going on, man, now with HBCU, like you say, man, this stuff ain't just happened. You know, it's been going on. There's been 4 and 5 stars going to our school. And you know what I'm saying? It's just now, you know, the media, the cameras are out, and a lot of people paying notice, but it's been great ball players in our schools, and it's been great coaches in our schools, and it's been it's been great ball played in our school. I told Jimmy Smith one time, I don't know if you guys know Jimmy Smith, played at Jackson State, 2nd round draft pick with the Cowboys. When his alma maters hired a coach, he come out and say, now it's going to be some good football paid in the SWAC. I called Jimmy and went clean off.
Right.
What's your mind, man? What are you saying?
Right.
Who taught you how to play the position?
Right.
He did his receiver coach at Jackson State. So, Coach, how is it all of a sudden? So, Coach said you right. You right. Bitch said you right, man. I was just, come on, man. You can't make them kind of comments because people gonna listen to you. But yeah, man, we it's been going on.
Well, we bought in that, back in the 80s, they used to call the SWAC the Chitlin League. And those same Black coaches that have left the PWI schools and have took jobs in Black schools was the same guys who was talking. Because once those little jobs run out that they have over there, then all of them run over to the BCA schools. Here's my thing to the presidents and the athletic directors. See, I can say this. I ain't chasing no job. Damn it. What makes you think that you could take a running back coach at the PWI school or the tight end coach, and they coaching 2 or 3 players, 5 at the most? Okay, they don't have no financial aid. They don't have no housing. Yeah, they go and recruit, but that's about it. And take him and put him in the driver's seat of our program. That's not fair to the university. It's not fair to a HBCU graduate. It's not fair to the players that are there. When you got guys like you and George that's been around, that understands the HBCU, it's better for them to hire you two, and I'm talking to the PWIs now, that knows that. Because they don't understand, not only are we coaches, we become businessmen. Because we got to learn how to stretch a dollar. You know what I'm saying? We got to know how to carry ourselves and how to carry these kids. Because most of us was them kids. I was tickling with my kids the other day. I said, when I went to school, I had 3 pair of pants. I had a little black and white TV, and the thing was off of it because you have to get this, and then with the, and I survived. Yeah. You don't need all that. And so let me throw some numbers at you guys. And 90% of all the athletic directors and college football. Because I don't talk about pro because they own their teams. They don't get federal money, they don't get state money, so they don't get no money from us. But we should be able to, these PWI state schools should be able to make a difference. 90% of all athletic directors in college are white. A total of about 84% of all head coaches, Division 1, 2, 3, if you put them all together, are white. So where do you go from here, George? What that look? Now you in there, you got 20 some years in the business. How did that make you feel?
Well, it definitely make you feel slighted, and man, we got to find some answers, man. We definitely got to find some answers, and I've been brainstorming that thing for quite some time now. And like they say, you have rules, but I think your rule is only as strong as the enforcement of that rule. So they'll put some rules in place, man. You got to talk to this guy, you got to talk to that guy, but it's not being enforced to the point that you can get things done, and you can actually get some people that look like us three in some of those positions, man.
Right.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. Thor, you've been on championship teams. You coach championship players. You've been a champion yourself. You've always been a first class gentleman. Every time I've ever met you or seen you, you've always seemed to have everything together. When you hear those numbers, what you think?
Man, it cuts you because you just bring up it's like old wound pulling a scab off something. And what I realized, is not going to change until it changes from the top. People hire who they're comfortable with, and if we have 90% of the ADs that are white Caucasian, they gonna hire who they comfortable with. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You pull out some numbers. I'm gonna give you some numbers that I did a long time ago. Coaching 2020, 128 FBS schools. All right, 128 FBS schools. There were only 14 African American head coaches. 3 of them got fired that year out of 120 FBS schools. But here's where it starts to bother me. All right, out of 14 head coaches, 3 offensive coordinators were black, 11 defensive coordinators, 12 special team coordinators. All right, Cole. Out of 128 schools, the only school that had half of their assistant coaches as African Americans at 6 is Maryland, Charlotte, North Carolina, Florida, Mizzou, Coastal, and San Jose State. All right. Everybody else, the number was 5 and below. Now you get 10. So I'm talking about the number. Now, if you're talking about where it really gets to bother you, I'm going to stop talking. I can get going. When you look at the schools that had the African-American head coaches, how many African-American assistants did they have? Then that number gets to be disturbed.
5 and below?
Because we ain't going to even start at 5. we talking about 4, 2, my man, 3? Herm had when he was at Arizona State. He had 5, but that number, when you're talking about hiring people that you're comfortable with, and when we get those opportunities, because we don't hire ourselves.
No, sir.
So if I'm not going to hire myself, how can I make it look for the ADs and the presidents that's making these hires that don't look like me, that, okay, I'm comfortable hiring him when my own people won't hire me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I'm going to go deep on you. Because and you know where it comes from? And some people that listen might be crazy. It's come from 400 years ago, Coach. Yeah. Oh, it's the cotton field. That's football field, the basketball field is the cotton field. And it's us.
It's us.
It ain't them. It's us, coach.
It's us, Coach.
It's us.
It's us.
You know, let me get you. It's just like the I'm not CIAA, but the MEAC. The MEAC is going down the rabbit hole. We don't broke up a conference to join the Columbia Conference to make us feel like we belong. We need to get in there. And they don't want us there. They want our attendance and they want our band. Yeah. So they can go and sell and get TV package and move on. When we have it, the SWAC in the MEAC, if you put the conference together, and I'm not saying join us together, but put a TV package for all of us to get $100 million from NBC, ABC, Fox, or whatever, because we have the product.
We got the product.
Oh, yeah. Our schools average more attendance than some of the 1AA schools, a bunch of them. When you put us together, all you got to do is take our classic games and put them on TV each week. Each week. Where when that camera view on that stadium and out in that parking lot and they putting together, you know, tailgate, because we tailgate. You know what I'm saying? We got great coaches. Our coaches got flair. You know what I'm saying? We got our bands is off the chart.
Yep.
But we don't love us.
We don't
love us, coach. And that's one of the things. We gotta love us. You know, I'm proud of you guys. I can say that. You know what I'm saying? And this is what happened to us, Jordan. They don't want Johnnie Cole to have a job. They don't want Cedric Thornton. So whatever you humanly have done wrong, that's what they're gonna talk about when they hear about Cedric Thornton or George Copeland. And whatever that was, you know, maybe you had too much to drink one day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to me, as long as you ain't breaking the law, you know, I can't say nothing negative about you because we all have our faults. We all have done something bad, but that's all we talk about. It's back to the cotton field. Hey, son, they thinking about they trying to break out of here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and we got to get by that. You know, and like you said, George, the faces got to change.
Right.
The faces got to change. So, and my argument is always, why at the HBCU schools did we think we need somebody from there to make our school better? Like our degree is not good enough. Go ahead, George. What you think?
Well, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, man. I think it is a lot of conditioning, what we were taught, man. And hey, man, you got to keep each other down so we can keep everything in check. That does play a role in it. But I think we have to, we have to grow a pair, man, and get guys that, like again, Coach Thornton said it as well, and build those relationships. We got relationships that everybody who has a HBCU ties. So you have a choice, and you are married just by that fact alone. So I think you should reach out and get those guys an opportunity to show and prove, man. Right. You know, so I think that needs to be said, and I think that needs to be put into practice as well.
You know, said, you know, me and my brother won OVC back to back, and each coach that came out there, John Gruden came out of OVC, and a bunch of great coaches came out of OVC, but their reward was they got a PWI job at a higher level. Me, you know, I'm gonna say my brother, his reward was he had to go to another black school. So I say that to Cedric Thornton, being a black college graduate, and this is why I feel every pain that you felt when you didn't get that Alabama State job. And I love Eddie Robinson. Eddie Robinson is a great man, is a great person. Hey, look, this ain't about him. But your accomplishments don't deserve to go from one championship team and then now you got to go take a job at a team that y'all got to rebuild.
Yeah.
What's your take on that, Coach? I know I'm putting you on the spot. If you don't want to say, you don't have to say, because I'll start saying it for you.
Coach, if I say it once, I say it twice. My shoulder's big. Like I said, I done been this thing a minute, man. You know, I ain't shy about saying none of it. That I've been told, and this tough. I've been told by a couple ADs that if I'm going to get a job, I need to go take a lesser job at a PWI. I specifically had a conversation with the athletic director from Grambling last week to ask him, what is it about us from our schools that makes ADs feel like we're not good enough to be the coaches? And I told him I need to talk. I just want to know. I just want to know, and had the conversation with him, and we talked about it. But I have been told flat out to my face by athletic directors, man, you got everything. You check all the boxes. But man, if
I'm gonna say it, but you're black.
But I'm black. and literally told me I was too black because HBCU grad, HBCU coaching, and so my thing, I said, so you mean to tell me, in order for me to know how to coach my people, I got to go somewhere else to learn how to coach my people? I said, that's just like telling me I can't run my house. I got to go to the neighbor. I got to go see the neighbor to get information and learn how to run my house from the neighbor. I said, what kind of sense that make? I said, but I tell you what, I understand what you're saying, and I understand the mentality right now. But I'm always gonna be black. Ain't nothing gonna change. But you said something earlier when you asked George, because George been doing his thing at Morehouse for 15 years. Yeah. But that football, I'm in my office right now.
I think he froze. Anyway, and he'll come back.
If I all right, so but
go ahead.
Y'all got me. I'm looking out the window. That football field is 100 by 53 and a third. Now you skipped the third.
Yes, sir. Yes,
it's 53 and a third yards wide.
Yes.
Cole, if you in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium and New England Patriots Stadium, it's the same dimension. Only thing different is hash mark. So you mean to tell me, in order for me to learn how to teach my people, I got to go to a PWI? Because I was told that to my face by two different ADs. Told me I was too black. So I don't wash my hands with the idea of Cedric Thornton being the head football coach anywhere outside of high school.
But that's sad. That's sad.
Anywhere outside of high school, because I cannot change me being too black. I'm an Alabama State alum. I'm a Texas Southern alum. And I have coached in 4 different schools in HBCU conferences. I can't change that.
Can I add something to that? And you've been a winner. You've been good.
Right.
Let's get that straight. You've been one of the best. Appreciate
it. Yeah. So I mean, it's tough. And the Alabama State situation, man, it literally blew my mind. And you know, for 2 years, I was told that I was his guy.
Right.
The guy who got the job. Right. For 2 years. Right. I was told that I was his guy. Right. He would call me and ask me, what's my plan? How I want to do this. I would send him the information for 2 years. All right. I found out the Saturday before it was announced that the direction they was going. Didn't hear anything from him. So I was hurt by the fact of how that went down. I told him, man, I said, dude, I would have been a fool to think I had an opportunity to get that job knowing you wanted it.
Right.
Knowing you want the job. I mean, that's them your people. Right. So I was disappointed by how that went down.
Right. Well, you got caught up into social media. That's the hype. Let's go get an NFL player and all that. But damn, didn't you play NFL a little bit?
I did a little bit.
And let's go back to the early conversation when you were saying about the 14 coaches that were actually had Division 1A jobs. They have no excuse. And any of those guys up there, I got a buddy now, coached in the pros 20 years. He's bounced around. And not one time, he coached with Atlanta, Carolina, 49ers. Not one time did he say, Cole, come on, be a guest coach. Okay? But what happened to him after the 20 years, and then his time started running out, next day, you know, he was coaching over at IMG. And then calling me now, giving me the story how, well, I'm black and they don't want to take care of me. Well, what you didn't do is you didn't bring nobody else with you that could help save you, and maybe they got a job somewhere. So I'm saying that to say, even during 2020, when there were 14 black coaches, they know it's an issue. Yep. They know it's a black issue. And those guys are making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000. I'm tired of them saying, because they said it in the 80s. That's been over 30 years. Well, Cole, you need to have your hair cut. You need to wear dress. You need to speak well. You need to be able to get on the board and explain yourself. You know what I mean? And I don't know why all the time we got to come with all the fixings. We can't just show up at the dinner with, you know, a bottle of champagne. We got to have a plate of ribs and macaroni and cheese. You know what I'm saying? So we've been knowing that since the 80s. So when you guys get jobs and y'all making that kind of money, y'all can reach down just like CEOs in this country. The main thing about CEOs, they say, I'm not the smartest one in the room. So I go find guys. I go find smart guys. You know, so what I'm saying is, if you know it's a problem, and I'm a black guy and I'm up there, I'm going to reach out to Grambling, talk to the head coach. Hey, man, look, I'm the head coach up here. You got some young guy, whatever, that we can get up here and get him into what's going on and make him an analyst and then move him. So now that's why I said, what can we do? Can we get the NCAA involved? I called a guy, Vance Malone. I'm going to say his name, Vance Malone, who's on the diversity committee at the NCAA. Ain't got a call back. You know, you got Loxley at Maryland, supposed to have been starting this new black college stuff. The president is the guy from Howard, who's not a HBCU graduate, but I've heard that he has pulled some guys in. I've heard that. You know what I'm saying?
Nick Saban is on the board.
Right. So I've heard the guy that just got the Valdosta job, Tremaine Jackson, who was on my staff, who turned around and hired a white offense coordinator, a white defense coordinator, and he's from a HBCU school. And his speech at the NCAA, the National Coaches Convention was, I took this job for y'all. For who? For who? Who you put on your staff? You know what I'm saying? Now we got Reggie Barlow took over the XFL job. Who he got as his offensive defense coordinator. You see what I'm saying? You know, we gonna call out some folk, but we gotta take our ownership. We gotta take our ownership, and we can't get ahead unless we do it. And that's where we are. You know, George, you feel you ready for a head job? I mean, you don't stop everybody in the SIAC conference.
Hey, man, most definitely, man. I think, like you said, you hear the old adage, man. Your work will make room for you, but I'm sure waiting on that room. You know, because you know you work, man, and you kind of see how this thing is kind of processed. You get skipped over a couple of times, and you know, Atlanta and Rich Freeman and Morehouse has been good to me. But you know, it's sometimes it's time to leave the nest and try to venture out and, man, try to help some other folks. And like you said, be another branch to the tree so you can bring somebody else along. The more we spread this thing out, the more we can have those situations like you said, where we can bring, hey man, you come with me now. Now everybody's eating.
Everybody eat. Ain't I used to say that, George?
Yeah, you say that.
We all eat. You know, just like said, you know, I was glad to see Henry Frazier come back. You know, he's won down. He done great things at Boyd. He won at Prairie View. He had a little off the field issue. He went to North Carolina Central. Things didn't work out, but it shouldn't have been the death of his career. You know, and I'm gonna tell you guys, when you look back at black college, 9 times out of 10, after you become a head coach and you leave that position, you can't even get a position job no more. I don't know why we think that I'm hiring my replacement. 9 times out of 10, when a head coach get fired, they are not hiring an assistant coach unless you win it.
That's right.
You know, unless you win it. Now, said, didn't you do the intern program?
I honestly never. I've been selected twice, but because of the schedule, I wasn't able to go do it. So I never did NFL internship.
But I've done 3 of those, Coach. I've done 3 of those and never got a phone call. You know, one of the things, you know, when we talk about PWIs, 68 to 72% of the players, especially at the major schools, are African Americans. Where you guys' thought pattern as far as why some of those kids don't go to black colleges? And I'm gonna tell you what they say about us. They say that we don't recruit them.
I'm gonna let George go first because
you got a dissertation on that, don't you?
I'm getting long.
Yeah, I know it, man.
You don't recruit all-star players to go to Morehouse, which is it's got one of the biggest endowments, I think, in black colleges.
Oh yeah, that brand
in colleges, period.
Yeah, that brand pretty strong.
Yeah, they produce stars and doctors and lawyers from Morehouse, don't they, Coach?
Oh yeah, all day and twice on Sunday, man. We got the best of the best, man, as far as that academic piece is concerned. No, they don't play no games, and that, you know, on one hand, that kind of limits our pool to some degree because of the academic rigors that we have here. But by the same token, man, I think you said it earlier, Johnny. I think the media, which I call, you know, whoever controls the narrative, man, they show all this flash and this glitter to those guys. Hey, man, you can't go to the NFL from any place unless you have all these cameras and lights around you. And I think that's a deal that kind of deters some of the African Americans from coming to HBCUs. And I think another thing is, man, who's in their ear. You know, a lot of things and the people who are in their ear, they hadn't even experienced some of the same cultures that we've experienced. So you know, it's a tough sell, man, at sometimes. But you know what you see is what you get, man. What you get, man. Right. And I wouldn't trade nothing for my experience. It's just you know, it's a kind of different day and age, and you got to have some of that glitz and glamour to kind of lure these guys in. You know, whatever that may be. You know.
Right. What about you, Sid?
It's what he's saying, the glitz and glamour. Because this generation, they all in the stuff. They like stuff. They like the pretty stuff. But I stand on the fact that when Georgia said it's the people in the ear, I stand on the fact, man, it has a lot to do with the parents. It has a lot to do with the parents and people that's in here, because we got too many of us parents, our generation, our folks that more eager to say something negative about an HBCU than to put the positive. We're in camp mode right now around here, right? So we had 2 camps, Camp Saturday, Camp Sunday, and I'm talking to a guy from LSU at the camp Saturday. So they had 1,300 kids from 2nd to 8th grade at their camp on Thursday, whatever, 1,300. All right. Louisiana Tech had a camp Saturday. They had 300 guys at their camp Saturday. Ruston's 7 miles from Grambling campus, right up the street, 7 miles. They had 300 guys. Our people will bring their people to Ruston, Louisiana, to go to La Tech's camp, but not come to Grambling's camp. We'll bring y'all by the campus, let y'all meet them, but we ain't gonna bring them to your camp. So our people, until we change, those people say, now it was good enough for you. You know, it was good enough for you and your people when it was the only place they could go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But now all of a sudden, we're not good enough for your child. And until that happens, until that change, we got a long ways to go to catch up with the stuff that a lot of the PWI is able to show with all the big, pretty, clean bills and all that good stuff. But until that changes, where the mentality changes from the people, from the parents, and the other people that's in their ear, we're gonna always lose out on. We're gonna have to wait for them in the transfer portal. We're gonna have to wait for them to go up there and something bad happen. And now they gotta come fall back.
Right.
And we gotta wrap our arms around them and cultivate them and bring them back up to being the people who they're supposed to be. So it starts a lot with the parents, man. The older people that's in their ear.
Yeah. You know, my view, man, when I look at the whole Black issue, some of the issues, you know, we got caught up in the trying to be equal, you know, and you know, I take my hat off because I'm deep into Black history, you know, about all the outstanding people who have given their lives for us to achieve. And the narrative have changed. You know, we used to fight for equality when the Indians, the Chinese and the Asians, they fought, and the Jews, they fought for money. And now that I am where I am now in my life, I see that money equalized everything. You know what I'm saying? And during the 60s, you know, we're fighting for our voting rights, and we're fighting, you know, we want to go to school over there, and they had the white water and the black water. You know, I had older brothers that actually went through that those days down in Alabama. And we just want to, you know, and that also gives us a mentality, because we wanted to drink out of the white fountain, that their ice is colder than our ice. Their water is better than our ice. So this is what I say to my white counterparts when they say, well, I just don't understand. Well, if you had two people racing a race around the track, and when it starts off, they hold the black person, let the white person run, no matter how slow he is. Then he gets to the back corner, and finally they let the black folks out, let go. Now, you let me go. I didn't have no education. I couldn't read. I didn't have no money. I don't have no loan. And this country was built off our back. But this is how great we are. And that's why we got to start changing the mindset. Hell, we damn near don't caught up. You see what I'm saying? We got a few more things that we got to work for. And the one thing, and I tell my kids all the time, you got to love yourself. We got to love each other. You know, they put us with the banana in the tailpipe when they started busing. Man, here we had state championship teams. You know, we kicking butt in football and basketball and all these sports. And now we want to go over there. So they bust us. And then they got smart on us. Said, okay, yeah, we're gonna bust you, but we're gonna take all your smart teachers and we're gonna take them across town. You see what I'm saying? So now the narrative have changed. See, you know, we got the George Copelands and the Cedric Thorntons that's ready to break out, and we got to find ways to get y'all opportunities, man, to lead men. You know,
and I believe, and I've told my staff looked at me like a couple of weeks ago, like, man, that's crazy. I really believe desegregation hurt us as a people.
There ain't no question.
I believe it.
Ain't no question.
And what you just said is exactly my thought behind it, because there was a time when, as a people, man, we were proud.
Yes,
we were proud, man. We did what we did as a people, but because we wanted, as you say, we wanted to be treated equal, not necessarily like the Chinese and the Indians to do what we need to do for financial gain, for generational wealth. We just wanted to be treated the same.
That's right.
So we wanted to be accepted.
But guess what? a check would have equaled everything.
Cause it made me feel all right, Cole.
Hey, you know, look, you know, I'm going deep on y'all because y'all with me now.
Yeah.
You know, the politics, they talking about reparation right now. The first thing I want to say, black folks, don't worry about how somebody spend their money. They want to buy 5 Cadillacs, 7 houses. Don't worry about it. That ain't your business. But I believe that we supposed to be getting a check, because this country was built off our backs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Ain't no question. But, and that would equal up stuff a whole lot. And this ain't about, is it racism? We know that happened. This is about awareness, man. I just want to bring awareness. I love all people. Said you took that. I love all people, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But if I see something happening and some kid is being treated unfair, and we've all coached and seen that, we get involved.
Oh, yeah.
That ain't happening under my watch, you know. And that's where we are when it comes to this football thing. So George, I mean, you know, we've been talking today, and I hope you know, of course, you can get it done in coaching.
Oh yeah, I think so.
But when you think about, damn, am I ever gonna get that chance? What do you say to yourself?
Hey man, I just say just got to keep your foot on the gas, man. Got to keep your foot on the gas. Number one, you can't stop. What lies still goes dead. So you got to keep your foot on the gas. Number one, man, and then hopefully some of these other opportunities will arise, man.
Right.
I think you said a mouthful, man, and it goes all the way back to, I don't want to call his name, Willie Lynch. Hey man, you got to love yourself first. You know, people trained us not to appreciate ourselves. It starts from there. And once you do that, then you can reach all kind of people, man. You can reach your inner circle, your inner fear influence, and then that thing can broaden. And then we can branch out and do something. But man, I just got to keep moving, man. Got to keep moving.
You know, you said something, Thornton, about the ADs that you talk to. And here's the sad part about that. And you could, you know, I want to hear your comment. I don't know an athletic director, and I've been around black college for 40 years, that I've left the HBCU job and got a head athletic director at the PWI school. Nor a president.
I don't either. I know one that has left and went to a PWI in administration, but not the head AD's position. I don't. I honestly don't. And but you know, it was crazy when they told me that. I looked at them. I like, dude. I mean, like y'all like really serious. I mean, it was a guy one time. There was a young lady another time, and man, you know, they told me that because we at the Celebration Bowl.
Right.
We the Celebration Bowl. I'm sitting there talking with one of them in the Celebration Bowl. We, you know, 2018, trying to get ready. You know, I'm playing for a national championship. We, you know, did some good stuff, and they told me that sitting down talking. I'm like, wow. Really? That's how y'all feel about me. I got to go coach at a PWI to coach my own people.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Shit, Coach. I hate that for you. You know, where do we go? Can some solutions have some solutions popped up? I want some solutions, but what I am going to do, guys, and I'll be calling around, at least sending you, is I want to put together a list of HBCU coaches, you know, that are ready up on top. Of course, it'd be some requirements, you know, some years coaching, because I ain't about giving nobody nothing. I don't know a football coach that's gonna give nothing. You got to work for it.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And you got to be qualified, and because you represent the mass. And so those some of the things that I want to do from there. Look, we down to our final remarks. You know, I'm gonna start with you, George, and then we're gonna finish up with Sid.
Well, man, I appreciate just the dialogue between us three, man. I think we some good brothers, obviously, man. We speak our mind, and everybody has earned a degree of success, man. And I think that's something that, you know, people can look at first and foremost to try to gravitate, get their attention, and then by listening to what we say and then listening to the platform and try to move from there. But like an old man told me, man, it starts with a thought in the mind, but saying ain't doing. So now, like you said, Coach, we have to do something. And I think that doing something involves some of the ideas that you said, getting some names together and starting a platform, and we can enforce some of these things that we're trying to send out to the people, man, so we can make our deal heard.
Yeah. Said you.
Yeah, man. Like I say, first, I just want to thank you, Johnnie, man, for this opportunity to talk with you, man. You enjoy it. Like I enjoy talking to good men, and man, it was refreshing. And anybody that's listening, final remark, man. I mean, you want better, you do better. And like George just said, it starts with a thought in the mind, but thinking and saying ain't doing it. Somebody got to do something. Yeah, and for everybody that's out there, if this is something dear to your heart, if there's something that you agree with, if you're an HBCU alum, why not reach out to your athletic director? Why not reach out to the president and just ask them why? You ain't got to throw no names out there as to who you feel like, I think such and such should be the coach, but ask them why. Why is the trend this way? Why our people aren't good enough? And that has to get it started. And and Johnny, like you said, man, we ain't about just giving nobody a job, but you can't make me believe that if I'm a head football coach at a PWI as an African American, that I don't know at least 8 brothers that deserve to come with me to come get this job done. You can't.
It take Bruce Arians to hire all brothers, mostly on his staff, to win a Super Bowl.
Come on, coach.
Again, here come a white guy being Superman. Why couldn't it, brother? And I'm gonna say this before y'all go. Eddie Robinson said, I had the opportunity to listen to Eddie Robinson back in the day. We had the SWAC tour, and he said on the bus that what's gonna happen to this conference is when guys in position that don't know nothing about the game of football, when these ADs are making these choices about the game of football, and that's what's happening. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to have to shut it. But, hey, look, I'm going to be back on it, man. I enjoyed it. You guys are, right where I thought you would be. Said, of course, we hadn't had any personal thing, but I followed you. And, man, you show all the person that I've talked to people about, and I just knew I could tell by your work, and good luck this fall, and I'll be working. George, man, I'll see you. Matter of fact, George, I'll be coming in Atlanta on Wednesday. So
come on, man.
Make sure tell old mama, the wife, you need some free time to go have one.
Come on, man.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So I'll see you Wednesday, man. Both of you, hey, great future.
All right, Joe. Right. Appreciate you guys.
Yes,
man.
Sir, bro. Appreciate it.
Guys. All right.
Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Monday, June 13th, 2022. Number 1. After 2 weeks of discussions, Senator Chris Murphy announced a compromise on gun reform Sunday morning. The Connecticut Democrat said the bipartisan group has agreed to a 9-point framework that includes a federal grant program to encourage states to adopt red flag laws and requires enhanced background checks for gun buyers between the ages of 18 and 21. This agreement follows Saturday's nationwide protest demanding new gun safety laws, with the words "Vote them out" echoing throughout the 450 March for Our Lives rallies. The young protesters called upon U.S. senators to act or face being voted out of office. Number 2, the first hearing of the House Committee investigating the January 6th insurrection was presented Thursday night by Chair of the Committee, Representative Benny Thompson, and Vice Chair, Representative Liz Cheney. The first of 6 public hearings laid out the allegations of Donald Trump's illegal and unconstitutional actions to stop the transfer of presidential powers. The next round of meetings won't take place in prime time like the debut, but in Monday's hearing, beginning at 10 a.m. Eastern, lawmakers will go into greater detail about specific aspects of the insurrection. Congresswoman Cheney said the third hearing Wednesday will focus on how Donald Trump pushed for the Justice Department to spread his false, stolen election claims in the days before January 6. Number 3, Wednesday, both Moderna and Pfizer will have to convince what's essentially a science court, that is, advisors to the Food and Drug Administration, that their shots work well in babies, toddlers, and preschoolers. The FDA weighed in late Friday with its own analysis of Moderna's vaccine, finding the shots appear safe and effective for children as young as 6 months of age. A federal review of Pfizer's vaccine for the littlest ones expected by Monday. Number 4, a powerful exchange took place between a black father and a white North Carolina state trooper. On March 28th, African-American driver Dr. Ashley Wilkerson was pulled over in North Carolina for speeding while traveling with her dad, who had just received chemotherapy for stage 4 colon cancer. The white state trooper previously had been diagnosed with colitis and required surgery to remove his colon. Instead of writing the woman a ticket, he asked to pray with the family. Number 5. The American Automobile Association reported that national gas prices have reached an all-time high over the weekend, surpassing the $5 per gallon mark. When informed of the historic high prices, the White House pointed to Russia for the increase. The Biden administration also stressed the pain at the pump is not just a U.S. problem, as countries around the world are experiencing extreme price increases. Others are pointing to the price gouging of oil companies. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Relax in the flow of life. Whoosa. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with Chris Paul, Huggy Lowdown, and Coy Malone as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the American Heart Association. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SybylWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.